Well, the 2024 elections are 1 year away. Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar, a fellow member of the squad with Tlaib and an outspoken critic of Israel and U.S. support for the Jewish state, is facing a challenge. Her opponent is an Iraqi-born Muslim woman who recently visited Israel, to show her support and see how the world is responding to help. CBN's John Wagi reports from Jerusalem.
Congressional candidate Dalia Al-Akidi traveled from Minnesota to see the situation for herself and contribute to Israel's war effort.
I decided to come to Israel to show solidarity with the Israelis, to show solidarity with the Jewish people, and to give a message that you are not alone. You are suffering from the exact same illness and hatred that we Muslims have been suffering for ages from radical Islamism and from terrorism.
Deputy Mayor Fleur Hassan Nahum invited Al-Akidi to visit a repurposed theater manned by hundreds of volunteers, helping an estimated 30,000 plus evacuees receive basic necessities.
This is where we have almost 20 departments of different types of help for the evacuees mainly, but also for families whose husbands or sons have gone to the front lines, psychosocial trauma care. Behind me there is a shop with clothes and books and toys for evacuees to take anything they need so they don't lack of anything. Just thousands of volunteers poured in to help.
Baghdad-born Al-Akidi, a former journalist, joined volunteers handing out donated items to evacuees now housed in Jerusalem.
I covered Iraq when ISIS entered the city of Mosul. I've seen the atrocities of ISIS, and I've seen the atrocities of Al-Qaeda. ISIS and Al-Qaeda combined doesn't even go to what Hamas did since October 7th. So when we hear resistance, no. These are pure terrorists. Good people around the world should fight. My heart aches when I see on TV the children, the Palestinian children. It breaks my heart, but guess what? They're not the victims of Israel. They are the victims of Hamas. They are the victims of the Islamic Jihad.
Hassan Nahum tells CBN News international media coverage can be fickle concerning the only democracy in the Middle East.
From the mainstream media, we'd have about 4 or 5 days of sympathy after they turn on Israel and attack our right to defend ourselves. I think we're the only country in the world that has to defend the right to defend ourselves.
Anybody has the right to defend itself. If I am a mother and my daughter and parade her in the street, I would eat these people. These Hamas terrorists have no morals, and we have to stand on the right side of history.
Al-Akidi is in a fierce political race to unseat Representative Ilhan Omar in Minnesota's 5th House District.
I came from Minnesota. Basically, it's ground zero for anti-Semitism. I came to give a message to the Israelis, to the Jewish people, that yes, you hear Ilhan Omar, but Ilhan Omar speaks for herself. Ilhan Omar does not speak for her constituents. Ilhan Omar does not speak for the good people of Minnesota who are watching the news, who are seeing what's happening.
Al-Akidi describes her very personal stand against radical Islam.
When ISIS entered the city of Mosul in 2014 and the terrorists persecuted all the Christians there, I went on air and I said, I am the Muslim Sunni. I'm against that. I'm going to wear the cross. And yesterday, I took this, the Star of David, and I'm putting it here until we all reach peace.
Hassan Nahum says the war has helped to unify Israeli politicians and expresses her gratitude to Christians supporting Israel.
The response and the organization and the collaboration between people who are political opponents has been truly, truly heartwarming. From the horror of what we've experienced, I want to thank all the support that we're getting from the Christian community from all around the world. We know who our friends are, and we thank you. We feel your embrace.
John Wagi, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Thanks, John, for that report. Gordon?
It's an excellent report, and let me underline it. If you were a Palestinian and you expressed any of the sentiments that you just heard, Hamas would try to kill you. And they would likely succeed if you lived in Gaza or if you lived in the Palestinian Authority. That's how brutal they are. Yahya Sinwar, we've started the show with his story. He was imprisoned in Israel for life terms. His crime was killing 4 Palestinians for what is so-called collaboration. That means Palestinians who actually want to get along with Israel, that want to say, how can we live together? Instead of holding on to, well, let's drive them out, and from the river to the sea, let's make sure that there's no more Israel. And they said, no, we don't want that. What we want is peace. And for that, they were executed by him. They were murdered by him. Now, he was released by Israel in a prisoner exchange. Hamas had captured 1 Israeli soldier, over 1,000 Palestinian prisoners who had done horrible crimes, like Sinwar had done horrible crimes. They were released. What happens to Sinwar? Is he excluded from his community for killing Palestinians? No. He's appointed to head Hamas. That happened in 2017. Don't be fooled by any of the reports coming out that somehow, Israel's at fault, or Israel should be making peace, or Israel should be negotiating, or Israel should have a pause in the fighting. This history underlines exactly what they're dealing with. They need to wipe Hamas out. Hamas should no longer exist. Any Palestinian that wants to have peace with Israel should be able to freely express that. Right now, they're not, because of this murderous regime. Let's call it for what it is. It's an Islamic death cult. There is no negotiation with that. There is no pause in that. We have to stand with Israel and say, this evil needs to stop, and it needs to stop today.